Hello, my dear listeners. My name is Kishore Ganesh, and in this episode of the Vocal About Visuals podcast, I'll be reviewing the period mystery drama Kanta, starring Dulquer Salman, Samudra Kani, Bhagyashree Borse, Rana Dagubati, and others. It is written by Tamil Prabha, Sri Harsha Rameshwaram, and Selvamani Selvaraj. The film is directed by Selvamani Selvaraj. Before I begin the review, just a reminder that you can read the written version of this review on the Vocal About Visuals Substack, linked in the description below. Kanta is one of the most interesting films you will see this year, especially its visuals. The core plot might be familiar to people both as a theme and also to those who are fans of the hardcore detective and noir stories of the 60s. The former, because stories like this have and always will be there in cinema and even in real life in general, and the latter, because of the period setting and the dynamics of the characters, where it is an amalgamation of Western and Tamil values. And the fact that this is inspired by true events adds to the familiarity aspect, even if that cannot be openly mentioned by the producers of the film because they'll get sued. The movie did almost actually get banned. You can search online for those details. So, when I watched the film, I was thinking of how the writing and the acting is going to bring to life a bygone era, and thank goodness they've nailed it here. Let's start with the writing. Even if it is a straightforward plot, the writing is clever most of the time so that you can keep looking forward to what is going to happen next. You are wrapped up in the proceedings, hoping for maybe a twist here because it says it is a mystery, but the twist one's expecting doesn't come at all. And maybe that's the greatest twist of all. You expect double crosses, but there are no double crosses. You expect extreme evil, that is not there either. All in all, the characters here are within the usual boundaries of grey, which maybe any of us in real life are in. The story is actually linear in nature, but it meanders peacefully to its end, content and confident that it can hold the audience's attention throughout the runtime. And to achieve this with no gymnastics in editing or writing, like non-linear narration or a ticking clock at the bottom of the screen, is in my opinion to the great credit of the writers and the director. The director also makes interesting choices in this period film with the transitions, some of the vocabulary and the editing style, all of which I really enjoyed. It's almost like when someone sticks an electric motor in a Hummer or someone adds Wi-Fi and hot water to an ancient castle. The end result here is a modern period film. Now, before I move on to the three other very impressive departments in the film, let me address my lovely viewers to inspire some action from them. If you are among the 90% or so of the folks who are watching this video and are not yet subscribed, please do subscribe and like, because a channel doesn't just run on passion, it runs on engagement that I get from my dear audience. It doesn't cost you a dime, but for me, well, it means the world to me. I'm on the road to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so please consider subscribing and liking. And a wee bit of promotion to help sustain this channel. I share some affiliate links for products in my WhatsApp channel called Conscious Consumption, which you will find linked below. If you end up buying something through those links, I may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. That support really helps keep the channel going. For now, the links are for India and the UK and US links are on the way. Now, back to the review. The other three departments which did very good work here are music, art, and cinematography. You can also add costumes to that. All of these together deliver us that period feel that is also important in a film like this. Get any of them wrong, and you would end up with a caricature, but owing to the splendid work of the departments, we have a homage to the black and white era. Great work by Janu Chantar, who has done the songs, Jakes Bijoy, who has done the BGM, Ramalingam, the art director, and Danny Sanchez Lopez, the cinematographer. I'm not sure about whether I got the name of the art director right, so if I've made a mistake here, please do let me know in the comments. And coming to the performances, Dulquer Salman delivers one of the most engaging performances of the year. This movie is just a feast for actors and acting. He talks in Sendamil and then switches to conversational Tamil and again switches back with ease. He portrays a superstar of the 1950s with swag and charisma. And when the superstar has to turn up and act because he's the Nadipu Chakravarti, which means the emperor of acting, he effortlessly does that as well. But that's just for the movie within the movie. In the main movie, as a complex film icon, he holds the dignity of his character, and it is hard to hate him even when he's doing something immoral. He shows us the full spectrum of this character, which is very, very hard to see in Tamil cinema, where characters, especially the heroes, are generally very one dimensional. He portrays the complicated grey life of this icon in a way where he makes the character very human, and maybe that's why you cannot hate him because you can empathize with him. Ego, sadness, pride, arrogance, happiness, and humanity are all on display from Dulquer, making it a superb performance. And whatever I just said about Dulquer, almost the same thing can be said about Samudrakani. There is a line in the movie that goes, "You and him are not on the opposite sides, you are on the same side." And that is the most appropriate description for both of these characters. This character is extremely similar to Dulquer's, and had the roles been reversed, one could argue that the motivations and the actions of Dulquer's character would not be very different to Samudrakani's and vice versa. Along with Dulquer, Samudrakani deserves to have awards and accolades come his way for his performance, and let's hope that we don't end up having National Award winners for the year 2025 who are thoroughly undeserving, as has been the trend with those awards lately. Moving on to the female lead, Bhagyashree Borse, I haven't seen too much of her work, but in this film, she really kills it. As a woman caught between two male egos, she perfectly plays this part. Throughout the movie, she's kind, she's sweet, she's humble, and she has a ton of agency. She is strong, and despite being in the middle, she doesn't allow herself to be pushed around by either of the male characters. In fact, she's so strong that despite the fact that the two main characters want to inhabit the two most distant points of the universe away from each other, she still brings them together. A brilliantly written character and a very good performance. Beauty with grace and agency. A woman who may not be completely three-dimensional in this tale, but she comes close to it. Maybe a 2.2 dimensional kind of a character. And the final bit about the performances which I want to talk about are the performances of Rana Daggubati and Bhagavati Perumal, both of which left a bad taste in my mouth. Rana is one of the producers of the film, so I think he just took this role up. It had the potential to be an all-time memorable character, but man, does he mess it up. His lack of Tamil speaking in the scenes along with bad lip sync in addition to the dialogues not syncing with his physical performance, really took me out of the film. I mean, this is a film where people are speaking two kinds of Tamil. When the standard is set that high, the one thing you cannot mess up is with the dialogue delivery, and that's gone for a toss. He's playing an eccentric detective, but instead of being eccentric, his actions come across as confusing. The same can be said about Bhagavati Perumal, who again has lip sync issues. Compare these two performances to the performance of, let's say, Nilalgal Ravi, and you can see the difference that properly saying the dialogues make to a movie like this. These two performances are in fact the only flaws in the film which stop it from becoming an all-time great, at least as far as I'm concerned. Instead of getting a great movie, what we end up with is a distinctly good film which can even border on being great, but it is weighed down by the stone around its neck, which are these two performances. But that said, I'm willing to give that a pass, and I think for most of the audience, they will do the same because Kanta is an amazing effort and a very good end product. I would end this review by saying that call it Santa for Selvamani, Samudrakani, and Salman. They have really killed it. Once again, my name is Kishore Ganesh. This is the Vocal About Visuals podcast, and thank you, my dear viewers, for lending me your time. Please do follow this podcast on YouTube and on all leading podcast platforms. You can also follow me at Vocal About Visuals on all major social media platforms. Thank you.